I think
pulling their weight and
it's definitely important for you guys to be working with awesome names, but at the same time, I think sometimes finding like the smaller guys that are willing to put in more work, you know, and grow with you is definitely a better option than like going directly for these bigger names. And you know, going for companies that really invest in like what you're doing as well and like want to better what you're doing. Because yeah, sure, whatever, like you can get like sponsored artists that like is good, but if they don't give a shit about you, what's the point, right? Like you want those people that are just as hungry for the industry overall to succeed rather than just being like, I have a cool artist.
It's hard when people drag their feet.
Yes.
Well, and companies, right? So
Yes.
it's discouraging as well. And that's where small companies kind of falter, right? Because it's a cold world, like I said, right?
I think it's you have to find the right partners. Like you have to find other companies that once again kind of have the same motivations as you, and then once you find those people to partner with, you know, work together and like build each other up and like that kind of thing, I don't think gets done very often by anybody aside from Sullen. I think Sullen's the only company in this industry that really does that excellent. And they really like partner with strong artists who believe in who they are, and together, as cheesy as it is, that's their fucking slogan, together they rise. And that's the way that they do their business. That's how they work, is basically we help you, you help us, we build this amazing thing together. There aren't any other companies that really do that well, because they don't set who they are as a brand to be very, very obvious. Like Sullen, you see them, you know who they are, you know what they are, believe in, you know what they like want, and like that's what you want to be a part of. Like everybody in this fucking industry wants to be a Sullen artist. Like anyone who says they don't, fucking lie. Like there's no one out there that doesn't want to be part with Sullen. Like being friends with them makes you 20 times cooler. And they're actually wicked guys. So it's definitely great in that sense where like there needs to be more companies that kind of get what Sullen's doing, and they started out tiny too. They were once smaller than you guys are now, but they worked with the right artists, they built each other up, and they partnered with the correct people, and now they're, you know,
where they're at.
Monsters.
No, agreed.
skid monsters.
Yeah.
Switching
Where
gears.
the hell
Yeah, where are they?
is my...
We'll button this up with a worst tattoo experiences in the industry. Oh, the brain is thinking right now.
Oh god, they're so... Again, for me as a shop owner, I see all of the guys' worst experiences. So I get the culminative collection of holy shit stories.
Bet.
So there's a highlight reel that's going through my head right now of bad. Aside from the one that I told you about already, I think our apprentice the other day had one of the worst.
That was the other day, eh?
Yeah, it was like a month ago. I didn't even know about it until he told me, and like, this is something that I think is super important for all apprentices out there to realize. Clients are horrible. So he was doing his, like, he's brand new to tattooing. He's very, very good at what he's doing, but he's new. And there's a lot of times where things are outside of your control. So he's doing a tattoo, and his lines aren't perfect. Again, he's an apprentice. It's to be expected. We explained to this chick that, you know, he is an apprentice. We do guarantee it. If there's any problems, we will fix it. So she's getting the tattoo, and like it's on a part of her body, I think it was her forearm, that she could see. So he's doing the tattoo, and she's like looking at it, and like she stops him. She's like, these lines are pretty shaky. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna get the color in, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna thicken them up, I'm gonna fix them. He's like, I'm aware, but like, you know, again, apprentice, I'm doing the best I can, and like, I've seen the photo, they're not shaky. Like, this chick was just like, she's just very
I can feel it.
particular. Like, so, like, again, I've seen the photos, like, I can say comfortably, like, I was perfectly fine with these lines. If I would have thought he wasn't capable of doing the tattoo, I wouldn't have let him do it. So there's nothing wrong with the tattoo. He continues to do it, and her and her daughter actually booked in, like, one after the other. So halfway through the tattoo, she stops it. She's like, yeah, I'm just gonna call it. He's like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't want you to finish. I'll get somebody else to finish it. So he wraps her up. She's like, yeah, you're not getting tattooed, to her daughter. They both leave. She comes back, she gets tattooed by another one of the guys, she leaves happy, whatever. But basically just like this experience to him like crushed him.
No,
because
yeah,
I mean,
no,
like, he's an apprentice, and like,
I feel a little crushed.
yeah, so he was like, he comes in the other day and he's like sitting on the couch beside me, and like, he's a very expressive person. Like, if you know him, he's very quiet, so if you don't kind of know him, you can't really read his moods well. But if you get to know him, you can immediately tell when something's wrong. So he's sitting on the couch, and I'm like, looking over at him, and I'm like, what's up, Manny? Poke, poke. He's like, nothing. I'm like, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, just having a bad day. I'm like, why? Pester. Takes me a few minutes. I drag him outside. I'm like, let's go have a smoke. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't smoke. I'm like, good time to pretend starts.
Yeah.
So I take him outside, he talks to me, tells me the story, and I'm like, okay, so we gotta get you tattooing. Because, like, he hadn't really tattooed since this. Because, like, he just sort of shut down. And I'm like, we'll find you someone to tattoo right now. He's like, well, I don't know if I want to. I'm like, tough shit. Like, go tattoo.
Sure, yeah.
Like, you
Get
gotta
back on
tattoo.
get back on
Like,
the horse.
you're gonna have way more of these. Like, you gotta get back on. The longer you sit without tattooing, like, the worse this is gonna get. The more fear you're gonna have, the more you're gonna fuck up. So I went inside, called Khadijah, who's the other apprentice. I'm like, you're getting tattooed right now. She's like, I am. I'm like, it's not up for debate. So go talk to Matt.
Hey, free tattoo. Who can play?
Well, the poor apprentices, like, they're tattooed like every 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
everybody in this shop gets tattooed every 5 minutes, so it's like a conveyor belt of like healing.
Nice.
So I think she just got tattooed the day before,
Yeah.
and like probably the day before that. So she was like healing like 3 tattoos at this time. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, you're getting tattooed. Like, it's part of your apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Suck it up. So she went, she got tattooed, and the minute he did the tattoo, like, he was immediately much better, and like he's, you know, back on the horse now and actually tattooing fine and like happy. But it is definitely, you have to be able to take some serious abuse in this industry and take it with like a grain of salt and like, you know, work through it.
Yeah.
Because the minute you get a client that's like, I'm not happy with that, and you shut down, you're done. Like, you're so done.
Conventions, if you...
I think it's closed.
Oh yeah, it's out of.
Okay. So this year we do have convention in May, which is the Maritime Tattoo Festival in Halifax. We have June, which is the Northern Exposure in Toronto. We have July, which is the Empire State Show in New York City. We have Hell City in Arizona in August, where I'm doing the Hell City Hotties competition. And then we have the Mayan Mayhem in Cancun, Mexico, which is a fantastic show. If
Yeah.
you can, if you can get there,
Yeah.
I would recommend it. It's
You did that last year, right?
yeah, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all of the Sullen guys are putting it on, so it's like a huge invite list. It's an all-inclusive show, so it's 4 days of all you can eat, all you can drink. It's a bit pricey, but I mean, like, you could definitely drink that much to
Yeah,
make it
yeah,
worth
yeah.
your time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't drink, so I mean, I can't drink that much, but whatever. But there are like Sublime's playing, a bunch of basically big bands are playing, and you get access with like the all-inclusive package to all the concerts,
Yeah.
all the tattoo convention, all the backstage stuff. So it's definitely worth it if you enjoy music and tattooing.
Hey, that's-
And then January we're doing Golden State Tattoo in California. February is Philadelphia, which is the Villain Arts show by Troy. Then March is Due South, which is I believe in Mississippi. And then April is Hell City, Ohio.
Amazing.
And then
That's
we
an
repeat.
amazing lineup.
So there's a few months between like September and December that
Yeah.
there's nothing,
Yeah.
but the rest of the year is all one convention a month, which is gonna be fun.
I think that's one of our goals. One convention a month.
It's expensive. It's very expensive to
But
do.
it's also like it's part of your marketing, right?
Yes.
Too, as well.
It's a great opportunity. It definitely gets you out there, gets you noticed. As a tattoo artist, it definitely opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yes.
I don't think you can really build yourself to be a huge successful artist in this industry without doing certain things. Like, you don't have to do all of them, but if you can, like, you'll definitely build yourself up faster.
Yeah.
But I do think doing the convention circuit a few times is definitely something that will build up your recognizable name and like your brand, and like basically the ability to travel, have guest spots, have people coming to you and kind of recognizing who you are.
Yeah.
As well as Jimmy, he and I work together on a lot of things. Like, we're pretty close. He's definitely been one of like the biggest inspirations to all of us, because he, like, you've met him, he kind of kicks your ass in a lot of ways. He lectures you a lot.
He's hard as AF.
Yes. Yes. I got lucky enough that like he and I are like genuinely good friends now, so I get to see a different side of him, which is something that I don't think anybody else really gets to see all that often, and he's a fantastic guy and I absolutely love him to death.
Yeah.
But because of this friendship, he kind of gives me a lot of kind of insight to the industry in like a way that he doesn't give to a lot of other people, because he trusts me and he kind of shares his ideas, and like, you know, he hooks me up with his friends and his like connections and stuff, and like I help him out with social media because I love him dearly, but he's a dinosaur with social media. Yeah, he hadn't updated his website since 2013.
Oh.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That's like 100 years ago, I think, right? That's 100
think
years
it was.
ago.
Yeah,
That's 100 years ago.
It didn't even have mobile. Like, it wasn't optimized, so it was just this disgusting like stripy orange background, I think.
Yeah,
it was bad. So that was kind of our trade-off. But what he had said to me is like, so many of these guys want to be sponsored, and like they are constantly tagging all these brands and constantly tagging like, oh, I want to be sponsored by, you know, Skin Masters, I want to be sponsored by World Famous, and like they don't use the fucking brands. Like, they don't give a shit. They just want it, like, it's like NASCAR, as Jimmy said. Like, you wanted it on your fucking banner so you can say, like, look, guys, look at all my stickers. Pretty stickers. Stickers. And, and, like, I don't think they give two shits about the company or representing it or, like, what it actually means for them. But he's like, why would a company want to sponsor you unless you're on the road? Like, what's the benefit for them to be giving you free stuff if you're not out there pushing it? So if you are an artist who does want to get sponsored, I think you have an obligation to these brands and to these companies that you are consistently hounding to actually go the fuck out there and like do something to kind of stand out.
Agreed.
And like, you know, show their logos on your banners when you're traveling, so they can actually, like, you know, new up and coming artists can say, oh, that guy's using this company, rather than like, oh, here, let me just go search through the hashtags. Like, social media is great, but I mean, like, you can't expect everybody to give you everything for free because you hashtag them.
That touches base with me. I've sponsored a few people, and it's like they don't even share the video or anything like that. I mean, come on, guys.
That's it. That's the thing. They want the benefit. So being a tattoo model, I learned this the hard way. You really want to be part of these companies. Like, you really want to be, like, you know, sponsored. And like, there's been a lot of other companies that I have worked for that basically use you as a model for, you know, pushing their product on social media, but they give you nothing back. And it's the same thing. Like, you guys are sponsoring these artists, and you need to be very direct with your like what you expect from them. So that you can say, like, this is what you need to do in order to be sponsored. If you cannot commit to this, you will not be sponsored. And tough shit. And like, if you don't have that written out very, very clear, I think you're asking for these artists to basically abuse the fact that they want you to share them. They want all the benefits of the free stuff. They want what they can get out of you. But if you want something back,
it's a cold world.
Oh, well, I didn't get your message. Bitch, I can see you read it.
No, I agree.
So I do think for brands, you guys have to be far more aggressive in like, okay, fine, you don't want to share this?